Okay guys, today we are starting the review for the first and second 9 weeks. So next week when you come on Wednesday, you're going to take a benchmark test for the second 9 weeks. And it's going to come, a lot of the questions will hopefully look like some of these. So at this point you should have done it already and turned it in. So you need to go back, watch these videos, and check your answers. Number 1 says, use the chart to answer the questions. Cody works at a vehicle rental company. The vehicles available to rent are listed in the table. So it says they have vehicles such as motorcycles, trucks, cars, 18-wheelers, and SUVs. If the 18-wheeler breaks and cannot be rented, what is the new ratio in lowest terms of the total number of engine cylinders to the total number of wheels? So, we're going to start right here. It says, if the 18-wheeler breaks and cannot be rented. So, if it cannot be rented, we need to remove it. So, it's not available anymore. So, we're going to take it out. What is the new ratio in lowest terms? Okay. So, in lowest terms of the total number of engine cylinders, so we need the total, to, there's our keyword here, total number of wheels. So all we're going to have to do is find the total number of engine cylinders. So we're going to add all these together for our cylinders to the total number of wheels, which is, we're going to add all these together. So, okay, we're going to add 2 plus 8 plus 4 plus 6. So we get 20 cylinders to 14 wheels. Okay, so I just added these together to get cylinders and all of these to get wheels. So we get 14 to 20. But if we go back to the question, it says, what is the new ratio in lowest terms? So that means we need to simplify this or reduce it to its lowest term. So we need to think of a number that will go into 20 and 14. And that's going to be 2. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. So that will give us 10 to 7. Okay, going to see if I can get it all on there. Going to number 2. I'll just use this. It says the table shows how many books certain students read for the bookathon. Students, like, here's our students and here's our books. Which ratios is or are equivalent to the ratio of the number of books read by Mike to the number of books read by Paula? So we're looking for equivalent, okay? So they're going to be able to be multiplied by the same number on both sides to get another equivalent ratio. So to start out, we have Mike to Paula. And it has to say in the order the question asks. It asks for Mike first, then Paula. So Mike read 9 books to Paula's 15. So we can go ahead and we can reduce 9 to 15 by 3. So divide this side by 3, divide this side by 3. So we get 3 to 5. So we're going to use this 3 to 5. I'm going to put it down here to answer, to look through the rest of these. So the number of books Nina read to the number of books Reggie read. Well, a good thing now is to stop and go put numbers over these people. So 25 to Reggie's 15. Owen read 6 to Q's 10. That way you're not going back and looking at a person and getting your numbers confused. Paula read 15 to Nina's 25. Q read 10 to Sonia's 12. Sonia read 12 to Tammy's 20. Tammy read 20 to Nina's 25. So the first one is 25 to 15. So can 3 go into 25? No. 25 is not divisible by 3, so we're going to eliminate it. Will 3 go into 6? 3 will go into 6 2 times, so times 2. Okay, and then 5 into 10. Well, that's also times 2. So since they're both times 2, that is equivalent. 3 will go into 15. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 5 is 25. So this one is also equivalent. Remember, we're selecting all that apply. The number of books Q read to the number of books Sonia read. 3 does not go into 10. So that one's eliminated. The number of books Sonia read, which is 12, to the number of books Tammy read, which is 20. 3 will go into 12 times 4. 5 will go into 20 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. So this one is also equivalent. The last one is the number of books Tammy read, which is 20, to the number of books Nina read, which is 25. 3 will not go into 20, so it is eliminated. So your answer is B, C, and E. Okay, let's go to number 3. The table shows the color of marbles in a bag. What is the ratio of green marbles to the sum of red and yellow marbles in the bag? So we're going to do exactly what it says. It's the ratio of green marbles. So our green marbles is 12. 2, the sum, so after the 2, here's our 2 right here. The sum of red and yellow. So we're going to add red, which is 8, plus 10 yellow. So we're going to get 18 red and yellow. What is the ratio of green marbles, which is 12, to the sum of red and yellow marbles in the bag, which is 18? Well, I don't see that over here, which tells me I need to reduce this. I can reduce 12 to 18. You're going to want to look for the highest number that will go into both of them. And on this one, it's going to be 6. So you can divide both sides by 6. You get 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. So it's 2 to 3. If you're not sure about that to begin with, you can divide it by 2. If you divide both sides by 2, you get 6 to 9, which you'll have to reduce this again by 3. So either way would work. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 2 to 3. Okay. This one, I don't think it matters. Yeah. A dish detergent is sold at 4 different grocery stores. So you have Hawkins, Mitchell's, Selena's, and Teresa's store. Which store has the lowest price per ounce? When we're trying to find price per ounce, we're going to divide price divided by ounces, or the size. Because we're trying to find the price per ounce, which is 1 ounce. So we're going to divide it out and find how much it's going to cost for 1 ounce. Okay? So for the first one, for Hawkins Grocery, we're going to take the price, which is $2.25. We're going to divide it by 32. So use those calculators, okay? Put in 2.25 divided by 32. Okay? And you're going to get a decimal. Don't be intimidated by the decimals. 0.07. And you can only round 2 or 3 places, and on this one, since it's a 0, I'm going to round 2. So this was Hawkins. I'll just put an HG there for Hawkins Grocery. For Mitchell's store, we have 360. We're going to divide that by 48. So we're going to use that calculator again. 3.60 divided by 48. Okay, on that one, we get 0.075. And you're going to want to keep that extra place value there. because this is technically 7 cents, and this would be 7.5 cents, or 7.5 cents. So Selena's, so this was Mitchell's. Selena's is $5.95 divided by 64. So we're going to come over here, 5.95 divided by 64 equals 0.09, and that is for Selena's store, so 0.09. And the last one is Teresa's store, which is $8.50 divided by 128. 8.50 divided by 128, you get 0.06. Okay. So going back to the question, which store has the lowest price per ounce? The lowest one, you got 7 cents, 7.5 cents, 9 cents. So the lowest price would be Teresa's store at 6 cents per ounce. Okay. Coach Pug has 12 helmets and 8 footballs in his locker room. Which ratios is or are equivalent to the ratio of helmets to footballs in Coach Pug's locker room? Select all that apply. So we have helmets to footballs. So we have 12 helmets to 8 footballs. So we're going to find all that are equivalent. Select all that apply. So the first thing we can do is we're going to say 1 to 3. Does 1 go into 12? Yes, it will, 12 times. But does 3 go into 8? No, 3 does not go into 8, so we eliminate that one. Will 2 go into 12? 6 times. Will 3 go into 8? No, so we eliminate that one. Does 3 go into 12? 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Will 2 go into 8? 2 times 4 is 8, so this one would be equivalent. 3 to 2 is equivalent to 12 to 8. D is 4 to 2. 4 will go into 12 3 times. 2 will go into 8 4 times. So this one is not equivalent, just because there's 2 numbers that go into it, but they're not the same number. It has to be the same number. Number 6, E, 6 will go into 12 2 times. 4 will go into 8 2 times. So this one's equivalent. This one's 24 to 16, so we can go backwards and say 12 will go into 24 2 times. 8 will go into 16 2 times, so it is also equivalent. So your answers are C, E, and F. Okay. Number 6. The table shows the price of apples at 4 different stores. Which statement is or are true regarding the information in the table? Select all that apply. So, if we look at our answer choices, every one of them has price per pound. So that tells me I need to go find the price per pound like we did on number 4. So for store W, I'm going to use this paper right here to start with. For store W, we're going to have price per pound. Remember, price, it's going to be price divided by the pound, because we need per pound. So our price is $6.75 divided by 3 for W. Okay? So we take our calculator, 6.75 divided by 3, we get 2.25 for W. For X, we have 8.60 divided by 4. So 8.60 divided by 4 equals 2.15. Y is 12 divided by 5. So 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. I'm going to add that 0 because we're dealing with money. Z is going to be 14.10 divided by 6. 2.35. So now I have the price per pound, okay, like these say, the price per pound of each one. Can you, yeah, we can see all that. Oh, okay, so we're going to use this information to answer these. So store W has the lowest price per pound. We're still, store W is $2.25, and it looks like store X has the lowest price at $2.15. So this one we can eliminate. Store X has the lower price, so let's write store X's price. It's $2.15. It says it has the lower price than store W, which is $2.25. Okay, well, if that's true and $2.15 is lower than $2.25, which is true, it's true. Store X is okay, store X, let me check something. Store X is $2.15. Store Y is $2.40. So is store X does it have a lower price? And it does, than store Y. Okay, store Y is $2.40. Has a higher price per pound than store Z, which is $2.35. And that is correct. It has a higher price. Store Z, which is $2.35, has a higher price than store W. Store W is $2.25. $2.35 is greater than $2.25, so that is correct. And the last one says store Z has the highest price per pound of apples. Well, if we look here, it's going to be store Y is going to have the higher price per pound, so that's incorrect. So our answer choices are B, C, D, and E for number 6. Okay, going to number 7. There, okay. So for number 7, it says Selena made pancakes for an all-day breakfast fundraising event. She made 132 pancakes in 4 hours. Selena needs to make 264 more pancakes. If she continues at the same rate, how many hours will it take for Selena to make 264 more pancakes? Okay, this is going back to rates. So we're going to have 132 pancakes, and she can make that in 4 hours. Okay, if she wants to make 264 more pancakes, we're going to put that 264 next to the 132, and we need to determine how many more how many hours it's going to take to make this 264 more pancakes. So the first thing I would try to do when you have these set up like this, I would see if 264 divided by 132 will give you a whole number, and it does. It's 2. So we can simply say 132 times 2 is 132 times 2 equals 264. Well, if I multiply 132 times 2, I need to multiply 4 times 2. So 4 times 2 is 8. So X here is going to equal 8, which is going to be 8 hours. Okay, so if she makes 264 more pancakes, it's going to take her an additional 8 hours to do that. It says consider the speed limit sign. Let's cover this up for now. Consider the speed limit sign in Canada, where kilometers stand for kilometers per hour. The maximum, it says, is 50 kilometers per hour. Which ratio can be multiplied by 50 to find the maximum speed in miles per hour, given that 1.6 kilometers equals 1 mile? So the first thing I would do is I would look through these answer choices and see if you can eliminate any. Because 1.6 kilometers equals 1 mile. Well, the first one automatically has 1.6 miles. So we're going to eliminate that one. B has 1 mile over 1.6 kilometers, so we'll keep it. C has 1.6 kilometers over 1 mile, so we can keep it. And then this one is 1 kilometer, which should be 1 mile. So we're eliminating that one too. So we're down to 2, just by using what they gave us here. It says, which ratio can be multiplied by 50 to find the maximum speed in miles per hour? This is our next little clue. They want it in miles per hour. Okay, so your miles is going to be on top of your hours. So it's going to be B. And if we were to go back and set that up, we're not going to solve it, but if we were to set it up, it would be 1 mile per 1.6 kilometers, sorry. And then we have to put that 50 kilometers over here with the 1.6. Okay, and then we would be looking for this answer right here. How many miles? You'd look for miles here. So miles should be on top. Okay. Here we have Lacey saves 75% of her paycheck. If Lacey's paycheck is $680, how much does she save? So how much is she going to save if she saves 45% of her check? Well, a percent is going to go over 100. So you have 45 over 100. Okay. And her paycheck, well, is that paycheck a part or a whole? Is it her entire paycheck? It is her entire paycheck. So it's going to be a whole, so it's going to go down here with 100. And we are looking for X here, which is going to be how much she saves. The first thing we can do, 100 does not go into 680, so we are going to reduce it. By reducing it, we're going to divide both by 5, because 5 will go into both. So you get 9 over 20 into 680. So we're solving this again. Well, if we take our calculator, we can do 680 divided by 20 right here, and that's 34. So 20 times 34 equals 680. So we'll do 9 times 34, because whatever we do on the top or the bottom, we have to repeat on the other side. So 9 times 34 equals 306, and that is our answer choice. The other way you can do this one is you can change your percent into a decimal, which 45% will be written as decimal 45, because that decimal gets moved over 2 places, times 680. If we do that in the calculator, decimal 45 times 680, you get 306. You could also do cross multiply. So we would have room right here. Yeah, 45 over 100 into 680 over x. We would cross multiply, so it'd be 45. We'll do that. 45 times 680 equals 30600 equals, cross multiply here, 100 times x. We get our x alone by dividing by 100. So this divided by 100 equals x equals 306. So there's 3 different ways you could do that one problem. Do what you're comfortable with. Okay. There we go. Evelyn reads 25 pages in 30 minutes. If Evelyn reads 400 pages at the same rate, how many minutes will it take her? So this one we need to just set up again. We have 25 pages. She reads every 30 minutes. If Evelyn reads 400 pages, you need to line it up with the other pages. how many minutes will it take her? So you're looking for minutes here. With your calculator, you can say try 400 into 25. So 400 divided by 25, you get 16. So 25 times 16 is 400. 25 times 16 is 400. And then if we multiply 16 here, you're going to multiply 16 on the bottom. So 30 times 16 equals 480. And that's D. Okay. Okay, so going to Miss Tart. Miss Tart takes a survey of our class. She discovers 60% of her students prefer using pens over pencils in class. If 12 students in Miss Tart's class prefer to use pens, how many total students are in Mrs. Tart's class? So 60% of her students prefer using pens, okay? 12 of her students prefer to use pens, so they're giving us information here to use. So 60% is always going to be 60 over 100. 100 is your whole, so that means that is what we're looking for. We're looking for this number here, how many total students are in her class. So she says 12 students prefer to use pens, so that's going to go up here with your 60% that prefer using pens. To go from 60 to 12, we're going to try to divide. So we're going to say 60 divided by 12. Okay, and we get 5. So if we do 60 divided by 5, okay, we get 12. So on your calculator, 60 divided by 5 gives us 12. So then we're going to say 100 divided by 5, okay, gives us 20. So there are 20 total students in her class. And 12 of them like pens. Okay, the next one, I'm going to cut the rest of this off so we can just look at this one. Which fraction remains in the quotient when 4,028 is divided by 32? Now, on this one, we're looking for a remainder. We're saying which fraction remains in the quotient. Quotient is the answer to a division problem, so we have to divide here. So we're going to have to do this one by hand. So we're going to say 32 divided into 4,028. Now, how many times does 32 go into 40? Well, 32 will only go into 40 one time, and you can do that on here if you want to check yourself. You can say 40 divided by 32, and it gives us 1.25. We're not worried about the 25, we're just worried about the 1 right now. So one time, and you should know that 32 times 1 is 32. So now I'm going to subtract 40 from 32. So I'm going to borrow here, 10. So I get 8, I get 82 because I'm going to go ahead and drop this 2. So 32 into 82. Well, we can do that again. We can do 82 divided by 32 is 2.56. I'm not worried about the decimal, just the first number, the whole number. So we get a 2. So I'm going to put that 2 here. Then I'm going to come back over here and say 32 times 2. Well, we get 64. 32 times 2 is 64. Subtract that. 12 minus 4 is 8. 7 minus 6 is 1. And we're going to go ahead and drop this 8. So now we have 188 divided by 32. We get 5. Remember, we're not worrying about these decimals. So 32 times 5 equals 160. Subtracting 8. So we get 28, and there's nothing else to bring down, and 32 does not go into 28. So that is our remainder. So we're going to take our remainder of 28, and when we have a remainder, we're going to put it over our dividend right here, 32. So now we have this fraction, 28 over 32, and we need to make it smaller. We need to reduce it. So there's a number that will go into both 28 and 32. If you think about it for a minute. Okay, it's going to be 4. We're going to use 4. So 28 divided by 4 is 7. So divide by 4. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So the answer is 7/8. That is the remainder in fraction. Okay, so this one says, Miss Beale asked her class to find the quotient of 6,496 and 16. 4 students' answers are shown on the board. Which students solved the problem correctly? So we're just going to use our calculator on this one and say 6,496 divided by 16. So when you use the calculator on that one, 6,496 divided by 16, we get 406. So Marcus is correct. He solved the problem correctly. Same thing on 14. It says, what is the quotient of 1,078 and 14? So you're just going to take 1,078. We're finding the quotient, which is dividing, and divide it by 14. Do it on your calculator. 1,078 divided by 14. Okay, so we get 77. Y'all get used to using these calculators. You can use them, use them. Okay, last one. Let's do this. Okay, it says Juan, Julie, Tina, Oscar, and Fran went to the fair. The bus ride to the fair cost $3.50 each. Tickets to the fair cost $5.65 each. Each friend spent $6.35 on lunch. How much money did all 5 friends spend? So we want to know all 5 friends, how much did they spend? So these are the key words. These are each. Each friend spent $6 on lunch. But we want to know how much money did they all 5 friends spend. So we're going to take $3.50, multiply it times 5. So use those calculators. $3.50 times 5. You get $17.50. Then we're going to take $5.65 and multiply it times 5. $5.65 times 5 is $28.25. Okay? The last one is $6.35 times 5, because there's 5 friends, remember, so we're trying to get their total. $6.35 times 5 is $31.75. To find the total, we're going to add all these together, and we can use this handy dandy calculator again. 1750, just make sure you put these decimals in. These are very important. Plus 28.25, that's a decimal in there, plus 31.75. So we get $77.50, which is C. So this is the first part. There's a part 2, so make sure you go watch the part 2 too for the 16 through 32.